Thought I'd give you guys a little update on my portfolio and what's happening. So right now I have two vacant properties. I guess technically three because there's no one at one of my Airbnbs tonight, but two vacant properties. One, the person moved out, left the in perfect condition. I don't even need to have the cleaner go in. They cleaned it so well. It's scraped, sent their security deposit back. I got it listed last night. And I already got an application this morning and two scheduled showings. So the person that came this morning, my guy said that he wants it, he wants to take it. So I just need to finish processing his application, send him the lease, take his deposit. There's another showing, I think that's happening like right now too. So at least hopefully I'll have a backup person if this first person doesn't work out. The next unit that is vacant was actually an eviction, and this person left a lot of their stuff in the apartment. When I bought this 5-unit property, I had never even seen inside of this unit, which I've pretty much seen all of my properties and seen every unit before I actually closed on them, and this one I didn't. This one was a guy living there. He was either never home or like refused to, give access. And so the deal was so good on the property, it didn't matter if that needed a full gut rehab. This numbers were still going to make sense on that property. So closed on it without seeing it. It does not need a full gut rehab. It just needs cosmetic updating. The guy definitely didn't clean ever, so definitely a really good cleaning. We're going to rip out the carpets, but it's a studio apartment, and this is the first time I've ever had a studio apartment in my portfolio where there's no bedrooms. It's just the living room, kitchen, and bathroom. And surprisingly, the guy was paying a lot of money in rent, $695. Like some of the one-bedroom apartments in the area go for like $750, $800. So not that much cheaper. So I'm hoping I can get the same, and this wasn't a situation where this person just really needed an apartment and paid it. I mean, they did pay for about 2 years before they ended up not paying and being evicted. So there is a judgment out against them for that remaining rent. If it ever gets paid, we'll see. So that's kind of the things that are happening. I do have somebody that does my showings for me, that does the leasing, and I pay them a flat fee. I don't do that anymore myself. That was one thing I did not like, is to coordinate showings and to have to walk people through the property, answer their questions. I like to be home as much as possible. So that is one thing that I outsource. I do the back end stuff, like I do create the lease agreement. I also create a tenant handbook for them where it's like, here's the utility providers, the contact information for them. Here's things you need to know about this specific property, like where the water shutoff is. Then I include like a simple guideline of like what to do if your drain is clogged. Like here's how you take like baking soda and different things and put it down the drain to clean it or whatever. I honestly, off the top of my head, I don't even know what it says in there to do, but it's something all natural to the way to clean the drains. And then there's a couple other like recommendations how to care for the property. The reason I started doing this is because I have noticed that it really reduces some of the maintenance requests. And if people actually read it, it does extend the quality of my property. And yeah, I take that chance of people just completely ignoring this handbook that I give them, but at least it's there for the people who do want to implement it and who do want to follow the stuff. Like I've had a situation before where somebody has a water leak and they call freaking out, panicking. There's water shooting all over. Well, what's the first thing you do when there's a water leak? You shut off the water, okay? Until you can figure it out and fix it, you shut off the water. And sometimes if somebody already knows where it is, they may be proactive and go and shut the water off before they even call you or contact you, put in the maintenance request. So if they know where that is, and that can save you so much money by not having further damage from all of the water that's coming in. So that's kind of the big update on vacancy. As far as rental payments, I have one tenant right now who is behind. Everybody else has been paying great. I did have another tenant that was put on, it's like some kind of trust where he's, I don't know the correct term to use for it or what exactly it is, but basically he has somebody else controlling his finances for him. So he's a single guy, and somebody else is controlling his finances through like some kind of trust. So the trust will send me a check every month. By the time they send it to me, it gets to me later than the 5th is when rent is due for my tenants. So that causes me to go in the back end, and I have to delete the late fees that are automatically added on, and it takes a little bit more work. But right now, out of my 40 tenants, I only have like 5 that pay by check right now. And it's taken me a long time to get to this point, but everybody else pays online, and it is so nice. But those 5 that actually send their checks in, most of them just come in right on time, except for that one check. Then the tenant that has paid late, she's constantly been late. We've went through eviction with her once before where she ended up paying in full to avoid the eviction, which awesome, great to have the money. But now it is just a constant battle to get her to catch up. Another issue with her is that she could not get the electric in her name because she has a balance due from a previous property. So that should have been a red flag there. My fault. She's lived there for a long time, and my fault. I did not know any better, and I did not have her, or I did not confirm that she switched the utilities over before I actually gave her the key. And so she had messaged us after she moved in, after she paid her deposit, signed her lease, that she could not get the utilities in her name. So it was just the electric. Gas she could get into her name. So the electric bill is in my LLC name. I pay it, and then I put it into her account to be reimbursed. Well, sometimes she doesn't pay that, so it's a lot of nagging and having her pay. So she does get caught up. It just takes a lot of work on my end. At this point in New York State, it is so awful to evict someone that, like, if she pays, even if it's late, it's not going to matter. It's too difficult to evict someone. The other thing is that she has paid. She does, every time she does catch herself up. And from what I've heard from my maintenance person is that her apartment is just in disrepair. This had been a remodeled apartment when she moved in. And I think she's lived there 5 years, I want to say. And it's no longer very nice, and kind of maybe a hoarderish situation. But he was talking with her the other day, and she said that there was part of the wall was coming apart, but she said she couldn't have him come inside yet because she needed to clear a path. So that's not ever a good sign. So more to come on that issue. But so there's also that thing of, okay, if we go and find a way to evict her, get her out, this is going to be a big expense to remodel. It's a huge 3-bedroom apartment. Everyone go ahead and remodel it. And just, I've become a lazy investor, and I need to hold myself accountable to this. But like right now, I would rather just have her catch up, pay it, instead of going through all of the legal fees, the motions to evict her, and then have to do a full rehab and then get somebody else in. So right now I'm just letting it go, and I'm banking basically all of the money from that cash flow, and I'm banking that to know that I'm going to have a full remodel coming up, whether she moves out or we end up actually having to do eviction because she gets too far behind. So one thing I've always liked to do is like really plan, like, okay, what roofs do we need to do this year? What remodels are going to be coming up if this person moves out of the property? So that can really, really help you not have unexpected expenses. Or if you do, tap into these really nice reserves that you've set for yourself. A big mindset shift that I've had over the years is that I used to just cringe and get so upset and like sick to my stomach. Like, oh my God, I have to pay this $9,000 HVAC bill. Like, oh gosh, like, why am I even an investor? This is awful, blah, blah, blah. But now I have shifted as to like that money in my reserves, that's what it's meant to be spent on. Like, that's what it's meant for. It's not coming out of my family's money. It's not coming from my life savings. It's coming from the reserves to take care of these issues that are in my business. Well, thanks so much for watching my little update here. I find it so helpful when I watch other investors talk about their real life experiences and what's going on. And sometimes on the podcast, Tony and I don't even get to talk about what we're doing as investors because we're just so intrigued and interested in listening to the other investors that come on the show. So if you have questions about my portfolio, what's going on, go ahead and leave a comment below. And I'll try to do a couple more of these just to keep you updated as to what I'm doing as an investor.